talk about the third wave of COVID-19 in India. Is it inevitable? Well, the answer is perhaps yes, but how much of this can really be cushioned depends on us completely. Sneha Mordani spoke to public health experts about what needs to be done next, even as we recover from the second COVID wave.
As we see a decline in the second wave of cases, a third wave, according to a mathematical projection by the National Supermodel Committee, looks possible. Scientists have warned against it.
We can expect, let's say, till September, October, people to retain their immunity. So first observation we can make is that the third wave is not going to come before that. If our vaccination pace covers up for that, and so that the percentage of immune population remains reasonably high, then the third wave's impact will be very localized.
The government too has said it will happen.
A phase 3 is inevitable, given the high levels of circulating virus. But it's not clear on what time scale this phase 3 will occur. Hopefully, incrementally, but we should prepare for new waves.
But medical experts and epidemiologists say the government can avert future disasters only by investing in healthcare workers and public health. India's response to COVID has been tripled by an acute shortage of medical staff, doctors, nurses, paramedics and technicians. The country has 37.6 healthcare workers for every 10,000 people. The World Health Organization's benchmark is a minimum of 44.5. At 562, India has the highest number of medical colleges in the world. But given our 1.3 billion population, the doctor-patient ratio is abysmal. 9 doctors per 10,000 people, as against 42 in Germany, 28 in the UK and 26 in the US. There are only 15 nurses for every 10,000 individuals. The UK has 150, Germany 132, the US has 85, China has 23. China, which is more populated than us, has 3.61 million doctors, nearly thrice that of India.
All the vacancies of frontline workers who are instrumental in doing the earlier actions in terms of testing, contact tracing, and also for actions including clinical care. This time we should not have any excuse for not preparing for multiple waves.
Experts say surveillance is also the key.
In order to prepare for aggressive containment, we need to have a really strong and proactive surveillance system. This can be done only by expanding the surveillance system's reach and also capacity in terms of identifying cases as early as possible. The moment we identify such clusters, we should be investigating it and preventing it from further spread.
Vaccination is our weapon to minimize the adversities of a third wave. The speed of vaccination should increase many folds to reach at least 10 million doses per day over the next few months.
We need to vaccinate as many people as we can before any sort of third wave hits us. The more we vaccinate, the better prepared we are.
Also, involvement of the private sector to handle the crisis, increased bed capacity and better resources, the paucity of which saw India collapse during the peak of the wave. The government says a lot depends on the people and we can have the situation under control even if the mutating virus keeps us on the edge.
Given the variant, given the reduced protection from vaccination, good protection against severe disease, but not full protection against infection, and enough number of unvaccinated people in every country, I believe outbreaks is a reality that everybody has to be on guard against.
This is an opportunity for governments to build strong and resilient healthcare systems. This pandemic, especially the second wave, has exposed India's dismal healthcare system completely. The need of the hour is to invest in India's healthcare structure, the system, increase spending on healthcare. Clearly, radical solutions are required. In New Delhi, Sneha Mordani for India Today.